Got it in the shop.
Never find you bugs standing in front of the fan. Spot the crimped fuel line over there.
Alright guys, just wanted to give y'all a quick update, introduction to the truck here. This is Cedric's LS swapped OBS truck. I think it's early 90s, definitely 88 to 94. This was a V6 5-speed TBI truck, and it now has a carbureted 5.3. It's got a little bit of a mess of wiring going on and the fuel system stuff. You can tell it's just we're pretty much planning on rewiring the entire truck, engine bay wise at least, getting everything cleaned up for him to where he can drive it, get the heater hoses hooked up, electric fans wired up, PCV valves, and all the normal hoses hooked up, get the brake booster hooked back up. Basically just kind of buttoning up the project and cleaning everything up. The main thing is going to be the fuel system stuff and putting a couple of gauges on it. Shouldn't be too bad, but we're going to take you guys through pretty much the whole process of just cleaning everything up, and I'll pretty much go step by step on everything I do in detail. If there's anything I run into that's cool, I'll make sure I video it, but for the most part it's just an old truck, and he just wants to daily it, so we're going to get it reliable. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get all the parts cleaned out of here and get everything cleaned up. I always do this just because it kind of leads me to a vision of just cruising in and it being clean rather than just full of boxes. And plus I'll inventory all this. For the most part, it's a pretty clean old truck. I'm excited to see it with the interior cleaned out, so that's what we're going to work on now. There it is, guys. All cleaned up for the most part. Carpet's a little ratty, but it's also a little wet. But got it pretty much cleaned up. Now I'm gonna stack a bunch of parts back in it. All right, y'all. Enjoy this time lapse of me taking some wiring apart. Gonna get this thing cleaned up. Engine bay is pressure washed, cleaned up nice. Everything's pretty much stripped down. It's Friday afternoon. Gonna get started on it. All right. Got the wires untaped and started kind of sorting everything out. I sorted out stuff that I know that I'm gonna need to keep. On this truck, it's basically only windshield wipers and then all the stuff that powers the fuse block, starter, and ignition wire. Decided that I'm gonna build a panel for here, and it'll be for the relays and the power ground tower, ignition tower. I'm just basically gonna build a drag race style panel for right there. I've got these Fastronics relays and Fastronics terminal power distribution blocks. And then I'm gonna relocate the factory power tower, which that's a 12 volt, all-time 12 volt power tower. I'm gonna relocate it to the panel. And then really all I have to do is run that power cable from the battery. I'm gonna just run that one like right along the radiator. This is your main power for the fuse block. This is your ignition wire, and this is your starter solenoid wire. Other than that, everything is usually useless when you're doing something like we got here. So the only thing that would be cool to find, alternator excite wire. That would be cool because I do have an alternator harness for this thing. We're gonna do aftermarket gauges. That's pretty much gonna be the gist of the wiring for this truck. All right, y'all, this is the street sign that I have for the panel for the truck. It's 8.5 by 18 inches. About to get it cut. All right, the panel's pretty much finished up relay wise. I got all the relays labeled, ignition tower, ground tower labeled, and 12 volt constant labeled. Alright, I figured I'd go over real quick what I got done. The panel is in now, and you guys saw that I lengthened the two factory wires. This one here, a little bit smaller one, is the ignition wire. It goes to the ignition block, and this main power wire for the fuse block goes to the 12 volt constant. And then something I just did off camera was I ran this ground wire right here into this loom with this positive cable. That's a factory positive cable that went to this power distribution block here. I ran those two together, and I plan on running the main ground wire for the ground tower over to the battery. So you can kind of see I loomed it all the way down the front of the radiator there, and then it just runs wild over to that side. Now my plan is to figure out what's going on with the MSD stuff inside the glove box. All right, here's the unveil of what's behind the glove box. This will be my first time seeing it too, so. Oops. too bad so far. Looks like a positive wire here going somewhere. That might be the one that's just chilling down here. Let's see, I'll pull it. Yep, that's the one. So basically what I want to do is find the main harness for this thing, which it looks like here's a positive and a ground. These are the ones that I already cut out of the engine bay. And then I believe this harness just is the one that goes into the engine bay. So I'm about to confirm that and then look up the directions for this bad boy and see what else I got to hook up. All right, so there's the MSD box, and it just literally unplugs from right back there. I've never actually messed with one of these, so I've basically removed it from its spot in the glove box. Zoom out there. And the wires were just ran through this square hole. I still think that it's a good option to have the box inside, but I just wanted to bring the wires out here and just go through my options. Like I could run these back behind the brake booster and all that, or underneath the brake booster, and put the MSD box actually over here next to where all the wiring stuff is, or you know, I could put it anywhere. I thought about putting it where the cruise control is because that's going away, but that's kind of a wet spot. I'm trying to, at the same time as make it clean, think of something that's realistic where the MSD box will live its best life. So I have thought about figuring out a way to mount it like here somewhere to where the entire electronic control system is just right here. I don't have to run a bunch of wires over anywhere, nothing crazy like that. So about to check out my options and see what I got. Okay guys, if you're still tuned in, thank you very much for watching. I'm trying to make some good content here. It's a lot of time lapses, I know, but I don't really know what else to do. So some buddies ended up stopping by after that last clip, and after that I was kind of off camera, got a little distracted, but still got a lot done. The MSD box, the chosen spot for it is there. I just kind of got these connectors where they would kind of sit there nicely, and put a 5/8 A-Del clamp or P-clamp, whatever you want to call it there. Cedric came by and we opted to go for the tack option. So I saved this wire. It's going to end up going inside the cab. All this still looks kind of messy. This is wires I got to test for power. A few of the other things that we don't need. This is the wipers. All that's kind of tucked there. I actually ran the MSD wires this way along with the hood cable, so that's where those go. And one of my main projects I completed last night was I got the fuel pump wires. You can't really see them, but the fuel pump is 100% wired to the relay and to the ground tower. And I basically ran those wires in their own separate wire loom just for easier access. It's all ran down here. This morning I came out and got the heater hoses done first thing, kind of start up with something easy after I cleaned the shop up. And then I got the battery cables pretty much ready. I don't want to touch it because it is grounded and the battery's hot. I ran the battery cables down and just kind of ran the positive cable along with it and stuck it down in the frame the direction I want it to go, and then I reused the ground that was already there. These are the two wires. I'm gonna put them on the top post. The black one's actually positive. That's the factory cable that wire, that supplied the power tower that I relocated. So that'll go to the positive, and then this one will go to the negative. I think that's gonna do it for this video. I kind of want to get a video out, so I'm gonna try to edit this one and go ahead and post it up. So I think this will kind of be a wiring part 1. There's not much wiring left, but I'm sure I will touch on the wiring a little bit more. But I'm gonna do another video on the fuel system. So fuel system will be next. Getting the radiator mounted permanently, getting the electric fans mounted. I still got to run trans cooler, so I got to wire the fans, put the radiator hoses on, I gotta drop the starter, so there will definitely be another video on this truck, but I did just want to give you guys this one for now. So again, thanks for watching. A little bonus, I got the shop cleaned up, got all my tools organized, got this cart organized for the most part. Not that, that's my scrap wiring. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.